Hello and welcome to another 3-minute devotional. In my backyard, I have this beautiful pear tree. I love this thing. The fruit that it produces is so delicious. It's so awesome. If you look up here, you can still see that I got a couple pears on it. But if you look at the tree as a whole, which the sun is going to be a little bit in the way, there's not a lot of fruit on it. Earlier this summer or earlier this season, this thing was covered with fruit. It was all hanging down low to the ground. I thought I was going to lose a couple branches. But the truth is, I didn't. It was just full of fruit. And right now there's only one left on here. Now I could become depressed and think, man, there's no fruit left on this tree. It's gone bad or it's dying. But the truth is this, it's not in the right season. You see, trees bear fruit in the correct season, and they don't bear fruit in the wrong season. There's a season for rest, and there's a season for producing when it comes to a tree. Now, I would say that the same goes for you and for me. In Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 through 8, it says this: "For everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to cry and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to turn away, a time to search and a time to quit searching, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be quiet and a time to speak, a time to love, a time to hate, and a time for war and a time for peace." Literally, a time for everything, a season for everything in our lives. There's times in my own life where I've looked and seen where I didn't have much fruit on the tree. And sometimes I think, man, there must be something wrong with me. I'm not producing like I used to. And I would say this, maybe their issue isn't me, maybe it's the season that I'm in. See, each season that we have in life, the fruit that we'll produce might look a little different. If you're in a season of rest, your fruit might not look the same as it would if you're in a season of productivity. But those seasons of rest will make the fruit even better when it comes back the next season. So today I want to encourage you in this. If you look at your tree and you don't see a lot of fruit, maybe it's because you're not in the right season. But regardless of what season you're in, you do need to take care of your tree. Make sure you're giving it plenty of fertilizer by getting into God's Word, spending time with Him, so that when the right season does come, when it's a season of productivity, you can be fruitful and produce much fruit. Thank you so much for joining me for today's 3-minute devotional. Until next time, be blessed.